Welcome to another epic chess showdown. Magnus Carlsen, the reigning boss of the board, versus Gukesh D, the prodigy who dared to dream big. Spoiler alert, one of them is about to eat humble pie. And it's not Magnus. Let's dive into the madness. D4, Knight F6. The game begins with the reliable D4. Magnus replies with a knight move, thinking, let's keep it solid. Bishop F4. Ah yes, the London system, the chess equivalent of plain toast. Magnus looks unimpressed and plays 2, B6, getting ready to fianchetto his bishop. Knight C3, Bishop B7. Gukesh develops a knight while Magnus parks his bishop on B7, radiating cool vibes. F3, Gukesh builds the infamous pawn pyramid, daring Magnus to break through. E4, and boom! The center is under siege. Magnus plays a 6, prepping a sneaky queenside push. Queen D2 D5. Gukesh brings his queen out early, dreaming of fireworks. Magnus responds aggressively with D5, saying, not today, buddy. Castling Bishop B4. Gukesh castles queenside, inviting chaos. Magnus pins the knight with Bishop B4, whispering, your center dreams are mine now. A 3 bishop, X C3. Queen takes C3D, takes E4. Magnus swaps off pieces, happily ruining Gukesh's pawn structure. Gukesh is still optimistic. For now. D5 knight takes D5. Gukesh sacrifices a pawn for activity. Magnus snatches it without hesitation, saying, free food? Yes, please. 11. Queen takes G7. Queen F6. Gukesh greedily grabs a pawn with his queen, but Magnus hits back with Queen F6, eyeing her with laser focus. Queen takes F6, knight takes Fe6. Bishop E5, king E7. Magnus confidently moves his king to E7. Wait, what? A king in the center? That's either genius or madness, and with Magnus, it's probably genius. Bishop takes C7, NBD7. Gukesh snipes the B7 pawn, but Magnus calmly develops. 15th. Bishop G3, Rook G8. Gukesh retreats his bishop, and Magnus activates his rook. The board is heating up. Bishop E2, king E8. Magnus tucks his king closer to home just in case. FXE4, NXE4. Gukesh tries to create threats, but Magnus munches another pawn, smiling internally. BF3, NXG3. Gukesh tries some bishop maneuvers, but Magnus trades off his knight, saying, nice try, kid. ArgH7, K7. Gukesh grabs a rook, but Magnus keeps his calm. 22. And 4 Ni5. Magnus dances his knight to a perfect square, tightening the noose. Rook E1, Rook G4. Magnus's rook swings into action, and it's all downhill for Gukesh from here. Rook X5. Rook takes D4. Rook E2, Rook D8. Magnus simplifies further, heading to a winning rook endgame. Gukesh is running out of tricks. C3. Gukesh reinforces his center, but Magnus is already scheming. Rook F4. Magnus activates his rook with style, targeting weaknesses like a predator spotting prey. King C2, Rook G8. Magnus swings his other rook into action because one rook causing chaos just isn't enough. B4, B5. Gukesh tries to expand on the queen side, but Magnus immediately locks it down with B5. King B3, Rook G4. Magnus doubles down with his rook, saying, 2 rooks are better than 1. Rook F2. Rook 8, G7. Magnus brings the heavy artillery, doubling rooks on the G file and making it crystal clear who's boss. Rook takes G7. Rook takes G7. Gukesh trades rooks, hoping for some relief. Magnus nonchalantly recaptures, keeping all the cards in his hand. A 4 F5. Gukesh pushes his A-pawn, dreaming of a passed pawn. Magnus responds with F5, tightening the noose. A takes B, 5A takes B5. The queen side is cleared and Magnus's pawn structure remains rock solid. Rook A2, Rook 5. Magnus's rook slides over to prepare the final act. Gukesh is running out of ideas. Rook A7 plus King F6. Magnus calmly centralizes his king, unbothered by Gukesh's attempts to create threats. Rook A2, F4. Magnus pushes the F-pawn, advancing like a freight train. Rook C2. Rook G3. Magnus activates his rook even further. At this point, Gukesh is holding on by a thread. King a2 king e5. Magnus brings his king into the action, turning it into an endgame monster. King b2 king d5. Gukesh's king shuffles around, but Magnus's king marches forward with purpose. Rook d2 plus king e4. Magnus takes full control of the board as Gukesh struggles to keep up. King b3 e5. The e-pawn starts its journey to promotion, and Magnus is ready to end it all. Rook a2 plus king f5. Magnus sidesteps the rook, keeping everything under lock and key. Rook to 2 e4. The pawn keeps rolling, and Gukesh is running out of options. Ard5 plus kf6. Magnus keeps dancing, confident in his inevitable victory. Rook takes b5 e3. Magnus sacrifices a pawn to push his passer to glory. Rook b6 plus king e5. Magnus calmly sidesteps the checks, unshaken. Rook b8 e2. And there it is. The e-pawn is unstoppable. At this point, Gukesh looks at the board, sighs, and gracefully resigns. Magnus wins again, reminding everyone why he's the chess overlord. And there you have it, folks. Magnus Carlsen wins again, proving why he's the GOAT. Gukesh fought bravely, but ultimately realized that chess at this level is like climbing Everest, except Magnus is already chilling at the summit. Until next time, keep your kings safe and your blunders hilarious.